Our home sales are 50% down year over year. Inventory's up, vacant inventory's up even higher. Pending sales are down 35% according to Redfin. Does that mean that you can afford a house now? All right, you might hear people say that this dip in home sales, dip in pending sales is just seasonal, but we're gonna debunk that because vacant inventory is skyrocketing. Our home sales are dipping like crazy, and we're gonna go in the numbers here later. And on top of that, we're gonna talk about how new construction isn't quite affordable yet for the median household income, but it will be there soon. At least that's what we believe.
So going through some of these YouTube comments that we've been getting, a lot of people are questioning whether this is a seasonal market that we're coming into, and they're questioning the high prices on new construction and if it's going to be affordable or what is happening in this season. Is it seasonal?
Yeah. It's interesting that people are using that because right now we should have the highest sold data right now, but our data is a little bit lower. For instance, just in our valley here, I think our solds are about almost 50% lower than what they were this same time last year. And if we were to go back and month over month over month, I believe the month prior to this, we were 40% down. The month prior to that, we were like 33%. And that's just our valley. That's not even including the whole thing. And Redfin just came out and said that our pending home sales are the lowest that they've been in the last 8 years. And that's lower than 2020. If you remember in 2020, right, when we were out selling, like every agent was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Nobody's buying. Nobody's selling. Like everybody was freaking out because we were going into this pandemic, right? But, and so that was what was the lowest dip, except now, according to Redfin, we are in the new lowest dip beyond the April. And we'll put
the lowest in 8 years?
In 8 years. Yeah. So as far back as 8 years, which to me points to it's not seasonal, right? If it was seasonal, and even in our market, right? Our market normally slows down November, December, and we see that sold data show up in January, February. But we've been on a constant downward slowdown. And you can see through this graph that it's the same way. And so there's no way that this is seasonal as far as that goes.
It's like it almost just stopped in June.
Yeah, or came to a really high screeching halt. Yeah.
All right, Josh, so let's jump into the data and tell us what's going on out there in new construction.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
okay, guys, we got to take a break here because as I'm editing these videos right now, keep in mind these are only 2 days old. And we've already had over $20,000 price cuts on some of these properties. So I'm going to try and reflect them with edits in the screen because obviously the information Josh is saying has changed in the last 2 days. So I'll try and update you the best I can as he's going through this. Have a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we ended up grabbing a handful of new construction, what we consider entry level, meaning the very cheapest new construction. So we stayed $450 and under. Right. And so one of them we already talked about. They started at $493, and this house they ended up dropping right now. It's at $349. So almost $160,000 price reduction. And it's still a 2-bed, 2-bath. They're offering an extra $20,000. Now this particular builder, their beginning list price was $450, and now they are currently all the way down to $375. They're not, from these remarks, they're not offering any seller concessions, but what it shows you is that this builder, he's dropping the price. He's dropped it almost $75,000, and they're needing to move that inventory. So this particular builder, they started out at $513,000. Different builder than the first one, different builder than the second one. They started at $513,000, and they finally sold it at $415,000. That's a $100,000 price reduction, which amounts to roughly just under a 20% price reduction in order to get it sold. But this builder, they started at $454,000, and now they're at $420,000. But what else are they also offering on top of? This is the Lennar builder.
So this builder is offering $60,000 if you use their preferred lender. Mm-hmm. They have houses in Nampa, Caldwell, Meridian, and they're roughly 1,800 square feet houses, 3 to 2 bedrooms. But yeah, they're $60,000.
Yeah, so there's a potential of getting an extra $60,000 off the already $30,000 price reduction. This next one. Is what we call it Hayden Homes. Hayden Homes, this house started at 450, well, 448, and now it's down to 420. And what did Hay Homes kind of share with you?
So they're doing about 20,000 in promos, and they're also doing a $10,000 flash sale. So that flash sale you can use towards like upgrades to the house or like a backyard or take off the price. But the $20,000 promo you can use towards the buy downs and such.
And that kind of stuff. Okay, so total of $30,000 in promotions, plus they've already dropped it $30,000. So that would be over 10% of technically a price reduction. All right, so this particular house, they started at $514,000, and now they're all the way down to $433,000. And what's the promotion that they're offering to a buyer right now?
This builder is offering a 2-1 buy down and 1% towards closing costs if you use their preferred lender.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. So this is the biggest price reduction that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
This is a home in Caldwell. The beginning list price was $650,000, and they have dropped it all the way to $450,000. That's a huge, massive price reduction. That gives you a 4-car garage, 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. It's a 2-story house. This is a massive price reduction. We're talking about $200,000 in less than half of a year that they reduced this particular home. I think something that we always have to remember: this is not seasonal. If it was seasonal, then we wouldn't have 2,400 vacant homes on the market right now. The vacant homes on the market are going to continue. Now, these are not affordable because they are still not affordable. We're getting closer as the prices are dropping. But remember, the feds, we just looked at the tool before this video. We're still at an 86% chance that the Fed is going to raise it 50 to 75 basis points here in a couple days, right? So that's a little spooky for a Halloween day, right?
Right.
I got to throw that in there because it's Halloween today. But that, to me, that means that if they raise it, we're going to see even more price reductions. Again, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen. But with so much vacant inventory and the home sales, the pending sales dropping, the home sales dropping, the demand has definitely softened. And I think if you hold tight just for a little bit longer, we could see more affordability for somebody who's looking to move into a home, especially the homes that are vacant that are listed.
I went through a couple, and the prices just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. What do you feel these new construction entry level prices are coming to?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for instance, like the neighborhoods that you went through, right? A year ago, you wouldn't see the 22 homes listed for sale.
It's almost an eerie feeling.
It is when you're driving through.
Available.
Right. Yeah. And we didn't see that before, right?
All right. This is one of the many subdivisions that has a lot of available homes, and this street alone has 8.
Our vacant inventory we have just in our valley. So this is not nationwide. Just in our valley, there's about 2,400 vacant homes for sale, which, again, if we go back to the seasonal thing, I think that's why it's not just seasonal, and that's why some people are saying this is just seasonal. This is more of like a reset. It's not a crash, and that's kind of why I'm leaning towards a crash, because with 2,400 vacant home sales plus 4,000 new construction permits getting pulled, these people that have vacant homes, they're either going to have to put a tenant in it, or some new construction. Those are short-term loans. Those are like a 5-year balloon, 3-year balloon, 2-year balloon, depending on what they worked out for the commercial loan. And if they don't get them sold within that balloon period, and they can't refinance it because maybe they haven't been moving their inventory, so they don't have the income to refinance it into a 30-year, then those people are going to have to short sell or foreclose on those new construction homes. So I don't think the homes are affordable yet, but I think that we're headed that direction if things don't change with the interest rates, with all the inventory that's coming on the market. And so I also think that those homes aren't yet affordable just because, okay, if I give in $20,000 in seller concessions at $350,000, I might be able to buy down my interest rate, but depending on your down payment, that's going to determine how much money you can use to buy down your interest rate. And at current interest rates at $350,000, I believe our home prices are your monthly mortgage is going to be right around $2,200 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath new construction house. Which is
still pretty unaffordable for the normal family.
Yeah, for the median household here in the valley. So, and I think that's something that you got to keep in mind is when you're looking at a market, you have to be looking at what is the median household income, And based off that, how is that housing market affordable? Because right now our housing market is not affordable based off our median household income. And so that's another thing that we're following, that we're looking at, right? Yes, there are remote workers that are coming here. You know, I just had a conversation with one of our YouTube subscribers that he's relocating here, right? He's getting a remote job, relocating here. So he's going to have an income of a remote job. But the median household income for our valley is still lower than the surrounding areas. So with the demand dying down, and if the Fed is still trying to crush our housing market, those who've been waiting, hopefully will be able to finally get into something. But at the same time, if the Fed does a U-turn and they start dropping rates, there's a lot of people on the sidelines that are ready to jump on. They're just with this unknown.
Yeah. We have several buyers that are just like, I want to wait for the interest rates to drop. And it's like, well, some lenders, one of them that I've talked to said he doesn't predict until at least 18 months for them to drop.
Yeah. So that's a long haul, but if you can wait it out, it might be worth it. But if you need to move now or you want to
jump on those seller concessions.
Yeah.
All right. So that is our opinion of what's happening in the market. And we would like to know your opinion. So please leave a comment and let us know.
All right, guys. And this is a little bit different format. It's in a little bit Q&A. Megan and I having a discussion. Let us know what your thoughts are on it. Thanks for bearing with us as we are in transition between a new studio. And again, don't forget, we do have a troll out there that likes to flag our videos. So if you like this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, helps us continue to make these things. And we love hearing those comments from you guys because they encourage us to continue to do the research because it takes some time.